This is going to be a chakra energy check-in. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you. We're going to take a look at the energies you might be experiencing throughout your chakras. So in the comments, let me know what you're feeling, what's your word of the day, just your general vibe. You know, I would say that today with the new moon in Sagittarius, I'm feeling a little bit of a heavy energy, and not so much in a bad way, but in a tired way. You know, where I think it takes more energy out of you in a new moon versus a full moon. You know, I think full moons are about purging and releasing and surrendering. And yes, it's important to rest during those energies. But when you're manifesting or you're starting something new, it requires a lot of energy. So if you're feeling like your energy's kind of zapped or you've got pressure in your head, I wouldn't be surprised, because that's exactly how I'm feeling today. But we're going to take a look at the overall energies for this new moon in Sagittarius. I also want to remind you that whatever we're starting right now, today, it's going to be wrapping up in June, right? When we have the full moon in Sagittarius. So we have a 6-month cycle that we're starting right now. And I'm really curious to see where this is all going to take us, right? But another thing to note is that we have Mercury retrograde that is starting tomorrow. And that'll be 3 weeks of interesting revisions, reevaluations, redoing. So you're starting something new, yet you're closing something out. So it's a bit of a contradictory energy. Be aware of any illusions right now as well because of Neptune. There are some astrological placements that can bring a bit of confusion. So we want to try to stay in as much clarity as we can. My advice is to listen more than you speak. So let's take a look at the overall energies. I'm using all moon cards because, well, it's a new moon. So let's see what we have. Take a risk. I love that. Okay. Well, I always say no risk, no reward. So this is the time to make some moves. That's why it takes so much energy, right? Transform, rebuilding. There's that word, right? In regards to Mercury retrograde, rebuilding, lasting change, shaping your future. Well, like I said, the next 6 months are going to be very transformative because we're starting a new cycle. And, you know, it's going to lead us to June, which is crazy to think about the midway point of the year already. We're not even done 2023 yet, and we're already thinking about the midway point of 2024. But, I mean, that's true for all new moons and full moons. There's a 6-month cycle, but this new moon just feels so significant. And again, let me know in the comments if you agree. I just feel like for whatever reason, this type of energy with Sagittarius is so important to us because it's truth-seeking, it's optimism, it's freedom-seeking, it's philosophy, you know, it's joy, it's expansion, it's growth. I mean, there's so many words that are so positive here, you know. Let's see. The answers you need are coming. Well, no surprise there because that's Gemini energy, Mercury retrograde. I do feel like we are going to get some answers during this Mercury retrograde. You know, just be aware of people popping up from the past, wanting to test the waters. So what I'm going to do with this reading is I'm going to take tarot cards for each chakra in the body. Now, this is the Chakra Wisdom Tarot. So each card has a significant color attached to it, which represents the chakra or energy center in the body. So let's take a look at the root chakra, which is Mars. This is our base energy. What is the base of our energy right now? The Devil of Restrictions. I'm not surprised. Now, you could have some passion in the pants and feel very lustful. There's no doubt that I think people have been feeling quite spicy lately. But I would say that the Devil energy indicates restrictions, codependency, you know, generally feeling held back. And that's why we need to take these risks, right? That's why we are going through the process of transforming. You might even be making boundaries, which, you know, is a constant theme, of course, we know. Boundaries never go away. So let's get an oracle card for each tarot card here. And we have, well, Mother Earth, inner identity, being more grounded, finding balance. You know, it's really interesting because I think we're in need of living our authentic truth. I think a lot of people struggle with that. And that's why we feel restricted. We feel like we can't be our authentic selves, or we feel like we have to live up to an expectation of other people. And that's been a topic of conversation with a lot of my sessions lately. And I know that it's harder to change other people's minds about who we are or who they think we are. Excuse me, I have a kitty doing kitty parkour in the background. She is like a little toddler in the house. This is what happens with kittens. I'm watching her jump and fly around the room, so my apologies for the background noise. Okay, you know, this says within 3 to 6 months, and how interesting that that card would come out. It says summertime. I do feel like the summer may be significant for a lot of you. I do think that 3 to 6 months is absolutely correct, because again, this new moon in Sagittarius is going to take us to the full moon in Sagittarius in Gemini season. Okay, so that axis is really important to us right now, I believe. Okay, let's take a look at the sacral chakra, which is Venus. And by the way, the orange card of the devil here is the sacral chakra. Okay, self-worth, self-value, and self-respect. Now, Venus is also how we spend money and how we love. And of course, look at this. We have another orange card, which is Venus, the sacral chakra. 9 of coins is saying self-worth, self-value, self-respect. It tells you to buy yourself something nice. It tells you to basically feel good in your own skin. So right away, we're seeing how important it is to focus on ourselves, right? Okay, let's get another card here to see what else we need to know. And we have yes, spring into action. See, take a risk, make a move, feel good about yourself. And let's see what else we need to know here. It's time. The White Rabbit is all about a spark of curiosity. It's about spiritual awakening, heeding the call. That's the idea of transformation, right? Inner knowing, going from dark to light. And we can look at devil energy if we want to as being darkness. But again, you know, that's polarity. Dark and light, they coexist, right? So let's see what else we need to know. Let's take a look at the solar plexus, which is our personal power. And we have here the Queen of Wands. Exactly, you've got to be confident. Queen of Wands walks around like she owns it, struts her stuff, believes in herself. You need to believe in yourself right now, okay? You are strong. You are good enough. And that was a reading that I posted the other day. You might want to check that out, you know, as a reminder. You are good enough. You are strong enough. You can have whatever you want, but you got to believe in it. And you got to take the risk to get it, okay? So let's see what else we need to know here. Okay, the Magician, Mercury. No surprise. I mean, look, the Magician has all the tools. Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. You know, the mutable signs are always more affected by Mercury retrograde. That doesn't mean that others aren't. But in particular, you know, it's the Geminis, the Virgos, the Sagittarius, the Pisces. But this is communication. And I would just say, clearly communicate. Be very careful with your communication right now, or be mindful of your communication. And with this, we have, you know, contemplation. Yeah, I mean, take a deep breath before you speak. Or, you know, don't overanalyze something before you do it, but at the same time, you know, put some thought into it. How about that? Just be aware. So let's take a look at the heart chakra. You know, we always love to look at matters of the heart. And the heart is not just romance, right? The heart is your intuition. It's what guides you. So let's see what we need to know here. The Fool. Yeah, take a risk. I'm thinking of the song Breakaway. What is it? Take a risk, take a chance, and break away. I'll spread my wings and learn how to fly. Take a risk. Transform yourself. You'll get the answers when you take the risk. Okay? So let's see what we need to know about that. Yeah, the garden. The garden is about something being publicly known. Okay? This could be about an event, a meeting, a date, something in regards to the community, even playing the field. Like, be open in your heart space to new people, new situations. I talk about that all the time. It's never about finding a person, or you have to find this person to replace somebody else. It's about knowing what you like and what you don't like, what you're willing to accept and not willing to accept. Every round you go, you will get better. And in turn, that'll bring better people your way. Okay? So with this, we have, you're feeling unlikely. This is my whole point. a lot of people have perceived openness. I talk about this all the time, where they say, yeah, if somebody comes along, yeah, I'll go on that date. Sure, I'm open. And then they go on the date and then they're like, yeah, it doesn't feel the same. It's not like this person. The other person just feels different. And the reason why that person feels different is because that's your soul, right? If it's a soul connection that deep where it's unlike anything you've ever felt before, it's because your soul is trying to wake you up and trying to pull you out of the comfort zone, trying to pull you out of the old stories or the old energies. We just associate that with, well, this has to be the one. And, there isn't just one. You can love many people for different reasons, or different people can bring different experiences to your life. You got to be very careful that you're not telling yourself that it's unlikely. This is about being afraid to take a risk or to make a move. Now let's take a look at the throat chakra. Okay. Throat chakra is Mercury. Think about Mercury retrograde, the world, completion of a cycle. There might need to be a conversation that ends something. I know I'm going sort of backwards here instead of up the chakras, but in order to have a new beginning, you have to end something. In order to open your heart, you have to have an ending of a cycle. And maybe there's a conversation that needs to be had. Maybe you need to communicate that something has ended. And I think something else to point out is I'm finding a lot of people asking about closure and what does closure mean? We want another person to give us closure. We want to force a conversation, or we want to push something to get closure. Closure doesn't come from another person, okay? Or forgiveness doesn't come from another person. Forgiveness is about yourself. Closure comes from yourself. Whether you want to accept that something has ended, you don't need somebody else to grant that closure, okay? You do. You have the power to grant that closure. And there's the man. Now, this could be you or somebody you're dealing with, but masculine energy is all about forward motion, taking risks, going to the next level, okay? And let's see what else we need to know here. Heart and home. Happy home, security, love, kindness, family, belonging, bliss, peace, heart's desire. In order to have all of those things, you've got to end the old stories. If the old stories are not good ones, if the comfort zone's so comfortable, why do you want to leave it? If it's so great, we all know that those old stories are not true anymore. You're not who you used to be. The story isn't the same story anymore. And like I was saying at the very beginning, sometimes we try to just live up to that expectation because, well, it's easier. It's easier than changing people's minds or attempting to or making boundaries. It can be done. You just have to want to take the risk and transform yourself. And again, I keep going back to those first three cards at the very top. Take a risk to transform to get your answers. You want answers? Transform yourself by taking a risk. Okay, let's take a look at the third eye, okay, which is your intuition. It's Jupiter, Eight of Swords. You're overthinking, overanalyzing. A lot of people right now are in the who, what, when, where, why, and how. And, in regards to manifestation, you don't have to worry about all of that. None of that matters. Don't worry about circumstances. Don't tell yourself all the possible angles of something. That just gets in the way, right? Think of all the reasons why you should do something versus why you shouldn't. And that's the unlikely card. This is what I'm saying. If you're always telling yourself, nah, that can't happen. I can't have this. I'm just like my mother, just like my father, or whatever it is. You're just getting in your own way. You're just saying that to keep yourself in the comfort zone, even though the comfort zone's not so great. It's not so comfortable. So that Eight of Swords, the raccoon, listen, it's time to solve these problems. Okay? Masculine energy is problem solving. It's doing, right? So when it comes to your own personal growth and evolution, there's nothing wrong with being in that masculine energy to make things happen and to change your life. Again, to take the risk to transform, to get the answers you need. I feel like I'm going to repeat myself a million times with that, but it's so true. Okay? In a relationship, you don't want to chase, right? You want to attract. But in regards to your growth and evolution, there's nothing wrong with you solving those problems or making the moves that you need to. And with that, we have the bonfire card here. Look, there's enthusiasm, there's energy, there's joy. Joy is that Sagittarius energy, right? And on that card, Sagittarius, this is the new moon in Sagittarius. There's an ignition here. Listen, do you want the passion or do you want the problems? Which one? Passion or problems? I can assure you that you don't want problems. Okay? And what can I say? This is about getting things going. Okay? Be fierce. Make the moves. Take the risk to transform yourself so that you can get the answers you want. And let's take a look at the crown chakra and see what downloads are coming in. Victory. You cannot make this up. I just love what I do, honestly. I love what I do. There's nothing more satisfying, you know? Cards just give you the validation. They're not there to necessarily tell you your future, but they're there to tell you your energy and how to work with that energy. So let's see. Okay. Milky Way is about networking. Can be about social media, the spotlight or exposure, being connected. This, in my opinion, is about connecting yourself to new energy, to the downloads coming in. Look at these. If you can see this on the card, it's like these people are standing here on this like mountain and they're like soaking in that energy, right? And there's the victory where it's like we're just letting it all in. Now, Milky Way is also a card of social media where, you know, it can be spying or observing, and maybe people are watching you. Maybe it's all eyes on you, okay? But remember, you don't want to be the one chasing anybody. Okay, let's see. Chocolate. Love it. Satisfaction, perfection, love, romance, treating yourself. Sweet, rich, smooth. You know, listen, this is an elevated mood. This is feeling good about yourself. This is getting the answers that you need. And I'm excited for all of you, but you got to be really open to having this new experience. And I mean like genuinely open, truly open, not this perceived openness stuff, okay? So let's take a look. What are the power of surrender cards that we need to hear? What do we need to surrender or surrender to? Surrender frustration. Frustration doesn't open any doors. The key to resolving a dilemma or to solving a block is to take a breath, center yourself, and regroup so you may approach the situation more calmly. Well, exactly. You know, that yoga card that we had earlier talks about being balanced and relaxed. You know, we need to let go of that frustration, of all that stuff that can get in the way. That's, again, that raccoon card, problem solving, right? Okay, let's see what else we need to know here. What do we need to surrender or surrender to? Surrender to what is. Interesting. Flow with what is instead of fighting it. When you can't change a situation, compassionately accepting it exactly as it is will bring you peace. I totally agree with that. Sometimes it is what it is. And you know what? I'm going to just take one more because why not? Surrender to creativity. Let your imagination soar. Stay open to all creative ideas about how to pursue a dream or solve a problem. What did I say earlier? Problem solver. Okay? Be creative. Be open. Let the ideas flow. Stop telling yourself that something is unlikely. It's all perspective. Take a risk. Transform. The answers you need are coming. I'm telling you, I'm feeling Kelly Clarkson, Breakaway. Listen to that song today. I really think it's going to make some sort of spark in you. I really hope this resonates. If you'd like to do a personal reading with me, the link is in my bio. If you'd like a 2024 Tarot and Oracle forecast, that's also available on my website. Thank you very much always for your kindness and support. It really means the world to me. Thank you very much. I wish you an amazing new moon in Sagittarius.